Hey everybody, good morning. I'm on a couple minutes early because it's so beautiful. It's freezing out here. You can see I got a hat on, this hood, just because it's windy. It's about 30 degrees, 31 degrees, but it feels colder because of the wind. It's coming out of the south as opposed to the west, so I'm not shielded from it. But you'll see why I'm out here a little bit early today. Look at that sky. It looks awesome. And so does the frozen creek. Here, check it out. This frozen creek looks fantastic too. Because we got areas of snow and some without snow. It's really beautiful. Really beautiful. But yeah, I'm going to talk about the gift of trials today. Hey, Fax Prods, you got on early. I didn't think anybody would hop on early. Maybe you get notified. Do you get notified when I go live? Hey, Frank, good morning. I'm on early. I'm surprised you guys are on early. Still got another minute to 7:15. It's just really beautiful out here. Oh, you do, Fax Prods. Okay. It's really beautiful. The creek. Look at the sunrise. It looks fantastic out here this morning. I'm going to wait till the 7:15 mark. The sun's already up. I can see it. The sun's going to rise here during my lives. I don't want to change my live time because I've got to change it in less than 2 weeks when we spring forward. I think it's March 8th, something like that. So we're coming up on a time change, and I'm going to have to change my sunrise live. Hey, good morning, Dolly. Yeah, it is an insanely beautiful morning. That's why I hopped on a couple minutes early. Well, thanks, guys, for joining my channel where I talk about mental health and spiritual health. No, I'm not a pastor, doctor, or therapist, but I like it, and I know having a good connection, relationship with God. Oh, what do you got? Hey, drop that. You know, someone came back here last night because they took my deer antler. So my deer antler is gone. I'm kind of bummed about that because it's been here for weeks. I'm trying to clean up this place here. And he keeps bringing me garbage. Well, anyway, I am not any of those things, pastor, therapist, or doctor. I just know it's important to have a relationship with God. And that will help our mental health as well. So I love talking about the Bible in the morning, the sunrise that God gives us. So I am going to speak on the gift of trials today. And Lord, was there a massive trial this week? But we're going to talk about the gift of trials, and we're going to be in Peter's first letter, chapter 4, verses 12 through 19. Key verse is verse 14, where Peter writes, "The Spirit of glory and of God rests on you." The Spirit of glory and of God rests on you. Now, I'm in Columbus, Ohio here, so I'm pretty close to Dayton, Ohio, where the Wright brothers were from. You know the Wright brothers? Ones who invented flight. I don't know if you know anything about their journey, but it was just basically like the two of them and a ragtag team, and they were throwing stuff together, and they were going up against a financier and like the best supposedly engineers in the country, and they were trying to become the first ones to fly. And so were the Orville brothers. Or I'm sorry, the Wright brothers, including Orville Wright. You know, and it's amazing that they ended up winning because they obviously had countless failures and they were ridiculed because everyone thought that this other group was going to murder them. And they had money problems and serious injury. One of them got injured, but that didn't stop them. Orville Wright observed, "No bird soars in a calm." So true. And often that means that adversity can often be exactly what you need to give you a lift higher. That's what their biographer wrote in their book. Adversity can often be exactly what you need to give you a lift higher. And their joy was not getting to the top of the mountain. Their joy was climbing the mountain, right? It was just the fun. Sometimes the process or the journey is a lot more fun than when you finally get there. Because when you get there, it's actually over, right? And the Apostle Peter taught a similar spiritual principle to the early church, who was constantly persecuted, constantly. He wrote to them in verse 12, "Do not be surprised at the fiery ordeal that has come on you to test you." Now, he's not denying the pain that comes from suffering, but he knew that hope in Christ grows our trust in God. And obviously, this is especially true for the early church, but it's not only true for the early church. Now, maybe from our perspective or my perspective here in the United States, that's true, right? We live in a great free country. We can worship, whatever we want to worship as long as we don't break any laws, right? But that's not the case everywhere, as you can read about what happened in Congo just a couple days ago. So, an Islamist group called ADF, Allied Democratic Forces, went into a Christian church in Congo and beheaded 70 Christians with a machete. So there are still people going through a massive trials and persecution in the Christian church for Christ and for God. And Peter's trying to say that, hey, don't worry about it. If you read this passage, he's talking about, yeah, you can be a murderer, but that's not going to be a better path either. And then finally, in the end, it's going to be a horrible path for you. You're going to go to hell and you're going to be separated from God for all eternity. But if you're persecuted for Christ, you should be happy because you know where you're going to go in the end. And that's what Peter's trying to say a little bit, that the journey is sometimes just as important, or actually more important, than the final destination, right? So the Wright brothers, they went through a lot of adversity, serious injury, money woes, ridiculed in the press because there was this other well-financed, super high engineering team that that the Wright brothers ended up beating. So they overcame all these trials to become the first ones to fly. And, they just had really strong character. And that's what Peter is encouraging us to do as well through any type of persecution. Now, again, us in the U.S., we may not face that, especially like what happened in Congo, right? But God does use our adversity to raise us to new heights. So the two questions I have. Hey, Leela. I'm missing the chat. Sorry, guys. The two questions I have is, how have you suffered for Christ? And how was he glorified? How have you suffered for Christ and how was he glorified? I don't have an answer for this one. I didn't have to suffer. I'm a lucky one in the United States here. Wow, what a beautiful morning. Even the creek back here looks pretty because there's parts of it have snow where the trees are growing out of the creek, and then the other part's just ice. It's really pretty. The suffering is coming. Yep, thanks, Gretchen. Appreciate it. Go buy yourself a Honda. Very proud of you. They should come to America. Oh, you learned about the Wright brothers in first grade? Yeah, me too. That was amazing. I didn't know the story about them, the Wright brothers, going up against a well-financed, basically limitless pocket team with a bunch of high-powered engineers, and they beat them. That sometimes happens in practice. Ask Frank. There's engineers, and then there's practical technicians. And the engineers, well, that's wrong. I was a development engineer. I kind of worked in practice too. I worked a lot on the vehicle, but sometimes engineers can be theoretical or do things too precise or too well, where technicians are just working in practice and they can usually get the job done quicker in reality on the spot. Yeah, I'm in Columbus, Ohio. It is a beautiful view. There's like oh, I see the cows. All right, I'm gonna try and show you. I see the cows down here where Annie is. I'm trying to find it. Okay. Hold on. There's Annie. Do you see the cows way down there, guys? Hey, look, there's a helicopter. We got lots of action this morning. Got a little helicopter. Got the cows way down here. See all those dark shadowed cows? Hey, Leela, welcome from India. I'm praying, Frank. You have no idea. I don't think God listens half the time. Well, I know he's listening. Just doesn't feel like it. Look at all those black cows out there. I wish they would come down this path toward us again. Annie's even looking at them. I know she gets... Hey, Asia, Alexandria. Let's see what this looks like when I zoom in this hard on the sun. Look at that. Yeah, it was. It's a good day. All right, guys. Yeah, maybe the questions today aren't very applicable to us, right? We're in a comfortable place watching a live video on our phones or on our computer. We probably haven't been persecuted like some people still are persecuted. Like, I couldn't believe what happened with that Islamic group did at that church in Congo. So this world is still persecuting Christians to this day. So that's so unfortunate. But at least we know that God uses that, and then we can always remember what the end game is for us as a Christian if we're persecuted. The end game simply being heaven and being together with Jesus and God, the Father in heaven, forever and ever. And it'll look even better than this. All right, guys. Well, I hope you have a good day. I'm going to sign off. Come on, Annie, let's go. Annie and I are taking off. I'm trying to get her. Annie, come on. She's not coming. She keeps looking at the cows. She loves the cows. She's way down there. All right, guys, have a great day. And hopefully we'll see you tonight. We'll be going through some more album covers, all right? Peace.